All right, we are recording.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're joining us tonight. This call came about because we've had so many people joining that have ties back to Maryland. And Maryland is, in really my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but one of the very best markets we have in regards to building your Think Energy business. So this call really is for everyone, even if you're sitting in Pennsylvania or you're sitting in Ohio. And I just lost, hang on one sec, what I wanted to read to you guys. But yeah, so this call really is for everyone, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all states that we're in. And, you know, we planned this call before we got the amazing bonus promotion. So we are going to have to talk about that for just a second, because I wanted to start this call, even though it's going to kind of be geared more towards community solar, I wanted to start it with electric, because this bonus promotion goes right into that. So let's just think about this for a minute. I want you guys, if you're in Maryland and even in other states, just Google BG&E rate increase, and you're going to find stuff all over the news. And I just want to read you a summation of two things I found. And I think it's important that you guys know this when you're in the state, because you're going to be talking to people and you're going to be showing them what we have in regards to electric. So it says BG&E's proposed distribution rates for gas would increase. Now this is gas, but it switches to electric by more than 3 times what BG&E charged in 2010, while electric rates will more than double. Last year, the rates were in place as a result of the standard rate case, which instead of the MRP was 2020. BG&E began a multi-year rate increase in January of 2024, which is intended to cover the costs of delivering electricity to homes. The Maryland Public Service Commission approved a $408 million increase, which is less than the $602 million that they wanted. They had requested that much. The average monthly cost for the first year is going to increase by $4.08 for residential electric customers and over $10 for gas. And it's just going to keep going up. And then for kicks, I just now Googled Pepco. What's happening in Pepco, Maryland? And this is in the Pepco, Maryland market. Over the next 2 years, and by 2026, they're going to have a 61% increase for gas, and electricity rates are going to increase by 31%. So I'm just tossing that out there, because when you're talking to someone and they tell you I'm good, when it's okay that you can pause for just a minute and say, well, did you know? And just have those articles there to show them that the rates are going to increase, because that's going to make what we have to offer 10 times more appealing to them. So Tony, the first question is how easy is it to sign up someone for electric supply in Maryland? And is there anything a new advisor needs to know? And you probably should just hit us right with this amazing bonus that we've got going on right now for electricity in Maryland. Then we'll switch to community solar. I think you're muted, Tony. Can't hear you.
Sorry about that. So glad to be here. Thank you for putting this together, Kim and Jim, and appreciate everybody hopping on. Boy, that is an amazing thing, hearing, the rates are going up. I mean, we hear that all the time. It's volatility. It's crazy. It's happening in not just Maryland, but man, it's happening just across the board in every state. It seems like all these states, the longer we go, the more time that goes by, the more they are trying to add additional fees to get back hundreds of millions of dollars from the ratepayers in the states. And it is incredible to see that. And there's nothing better than to have, either fixed rates or fixed discounts to be able to offset that, as Kim was talking about. So as far as electricity, I mean, I love it. I'm actually going to share my screen on this too, because I think I just went on to the rate board, the rate, site here where we sign up customers, the customer enrollment site with Think Energy. So everybody has their get.thinkenergy.com site. And, just looking at the BGE territory right there, I mean, it's, whenever you put in a zip code, you can see what you can do for a customer right away. And, there's a lot of things happening here, especially in the state of Maryland. I mean, it starts out, we show the Think Clean 12 plan, then we show the Think Clean 36 plan, and then it pops in and it's community solar discount. There's some things in there from IGS as well as Arcadia. We'll talk about those. And then the Think Basic pops up, and Think Simple in some states as well that you'll see. So there's a lot of different offers that are here for customers. And that's a great thing, because it allows the customers to zig and zag and get the things that they would like to get. you know, when you look at what we have here, this Think Clean 12 plan, it's a fantastic plan. It's a 10.9 cents. It comes with you can hit view details on there and you can see that it has a $100 gift card in it. I love this because you can see just by hitting view details, you can see all the details about it, including if anybody ever asks, there's all the documentation here as far as the terms and conditions and all the good things there. But I mean, if you look at this rate right here, 10.9. Well, if you look at $100 cash back on an average customer that uses 750, to 1,000 kilowatt hours, you're talking about lowering that rate by 2.2 cents across the board over a 6-month period of time, or 1.1 cents over the year. And so that $100 gift card becomes very valuable to people, on these Think Clean 12 plans. And it's also applicable to the 36-month plan as well. But if we just look at this Think Clean 12 plan, we say, hey, look, for the next 6 months, if you factor in the gift card, your rate is actually 8.7. That's actually your effective rate when you're signing up in BGE territory. And that is very competitive. So the company we're doing the right thing here with customers and giving them options. So there's a multitude of options here for customers, but it is so simple. Electricity is a great service to offer people in all of our markets. Again, it helps people go out and get free energy by starting off in the free energy club. Then they can start referring community solar customers as well as electricity customers. And it's just a simple thing to do. It only takes a few minutes to enroll. There's no phone calls to be made. And, there's basically click on an email at the end and, do your verification that way. And you're a customer and you get to enjoy all the benefits that go along with that. So, I would say that Maryland, just when you look at what we're looking at right here, just across the board, incredible offers, really like no other states that are out there. And it's a great place to be when you have, multiple different offerings for customers so that you can kind of zig and zag. And talking about that, Kim, and go ahead.
I was going to say that's perfect.
Yeah. And when you look at what we have going on as far as promotions and things like that, Kim was talking about this. I mean, you have to share this with people. I can't even tell you how many times I just put this out for people to let them know what's going on with the different promotions that we have in place. This is incredible what we have here. To be able to add $100, right, to the community solar promotion here in the state of Maryland, and DC and Massachusetts and Maine, and even parts of New Jersey. There's a $100 promotion there that they extended as well. But to be able to do this and have the ability to make $80 plus $100 for a community solar customer in Maryland and DC and Massachusetts, and $120 plus $100 in the state of Maine, $220. And then you factor in that in all these states, everyone can be an electricity customer as well, even more money, because we've doubled that promotion in the month of June as well. So you've got this overlapping promotion in these 4 states. I was talking to somebody in Texas today and they're just like, man, I wish I lived in Maryland. And then I was talking to somebody else that was in Minnesota today. And it's like, you think they could bring that Maryland, DC promotion out to Minnesota? We have ballparks here too.
Yeah.
It's just amazing but you guys have it so good. Look, I live in Connecticut. All we have is electricity. We don't have, we have the double bonus promotion. That's great. And that's awesome. But we don't even have community solar here. And it's the hottest thing out there, community solar, definitely. So to be able to get $100 extra for every customer, and then be able to get the top 10 enrollers in each of those markets, Maine and DC combined, Massachusetts and Maine combined, and to be able to go out to a corporate box that they have set up with corporate executives, Mike Falquist, Steve Condon, other leaders as well, and then the top 10 enrollers, to be able to be out there at a ball game, fantastic. It's going to be a great time. And then the raffle that goes along. So everybody who puts a customer is in the raffle. We're going to bring 2 additional people onto each of these games for the top enrollers. So very exciting that we have that. And then, of course, there's the New Jersey bonus splits that they just extended as well for certain zip codes in New Jersey, where, now you're back up to $180 a customer. And then to me, this is the best promotion that we've ever had. And if you have been with us for any period of time, like if you were here since last October or so, You know that we ran a very similar promotion to this after we had our regional convention, where you had to drive into Connecticut, stay at at the event for the day, stay over most likely if you're coming from a distance, and then you were included in the promotion that is actually what we have here, which is double points for electricity, double cabs on the cost, so no longer $20, $40 for electricity enrollments. And all of the customers count. It doesn't matter what type of customer you bring in, what plan. If they're an electricity customer, you're getting the cab. And then double cab for the mentor bonuses, level 1 and level 2 mentor, and then double rank advancement bonuses. And they put that chart out there to show you exactly what you can earn. I mean, look, we have people who just joined right before this promotion started. You see it on Facebook, you see it on different mediums that are out there, and on some of the meetings that we have going on. Saw people in the chat talking about it on Sunday, on Saturday, during the Fast Start 535 training. There are people who just joined in the last week, and they already secured, they've already secured their regional energy advisor bonus plus the accelerated bonus, $400. They've already secured the senior energy advisor bonus, the $1,000 there. So there are people who literally have already secured, they started maybe a week before the program started, before the promotion started, and they've already done it. And then there are people who just joined because of the promotion on Saturday that have already brought in 20 customers to get to regional energy advisor, them and their team. And some of them just went out and got 20 customers themselves. They didn't even have to do that because they just went out and got 4, 5 or 6 customers, or 8 or 9 or 10 customers, because again, lots of extra points for community solar and for electricity. The community solar points have already gone up across the board in the markets that we're talking about, because in the state of Maine, Massachusetts, DC, and Maryland, you're talking 2 points for every customer because they're not utility consolidated billing states, and then 3 points if they're an LMI customer. So there are people who recognize that, and they said, if I go sign up a customer in Maryland for electricity, I get 2 points for that. And then I go and sign up that same customer on community solar, and they happen to be a low and moderate income customer, I get 3 points for that. That's 5 points. That means I can go sign up 4 customers. One of them could be myself, and I have 20 points, and boom, I just made an extra $400 and became a regional energy advisor. So the promotions are just killer, you guys. It's just unbelievable what we have in place here. And I mean, I couldn't be more excited about it. We've got the makings of something amazing with the promotions that we have in place here, like never before.
I love it. Thank you so much. That's what I wanted you guys to really comprehend. Tony, we have some people I saw in the names that are still looking at this business. So they're really new to us. And then we've got a few that just joined. So we've got people that are just getting their feet wet with us. And what you guys just saw was an amazing bonus promotion. I want to circle back to that $100 gift card. I know we're talking Maryland. Maryland has really got it made. If you signed up as an electricity customer, and you factor in what the rate increase is going to be in October, you're looking at about a 10% savings off the supply part of your bill over the course of the next year. So we're set in Maryland with electricity. In some of our other markets, we're a little close. The margins are closer now, but you need to realize that that $100 gift card taken back in and factored through the course of a year is a penny lower, 1.1 cents on an average usage, lowering the bill, because that'll help you help your customers, because the rates are going up, not just in Maryland, but they're going up everywhere. So it really is just an education process, but that bonus, unbelievable.
You're still a free energy club too, so you can
offset it. Then you can help your customers go for free energy too. Jim was just saying that.
Yeah,
no doubt.
But it just takes the rate right off the charts.
All right, so we're going to segue into this community solar. Electricity really is what I would call a no-brainer. Electricity is where we get our residual income. And, you know, we've been preaching it from the mountaintop, and that's how amazing this company is. We said, we want something for electricity because we all are building residual income. And I think, like you said, Tony, I don't think anybody's ever done a bonus like this in any of the electric companies that I've seen or been involved with over the last 15 years. It's amazing because you're going to promote. You can think about all the people you have on the fence. You want to bring them into the business right now. Like Ernest said, yesterday was too late. bring them in now, so that they've got to the end of the month to reach senior energy advisor and make all that extra money. That's a lot of money. When a new person can open up their back office and say, well, this is how much I made in my first month. Those are the stories that sell, and our business is built on stories. And that's the kind of things we want all of you to really understand and grasp and get out there. And we've got the sun shining, so it's time to go make some hay. I'm going to segue over to community solar because we have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure everybody understands that. I'm not going to really talk a lot about what community solar is. We all know it's the solar arrays, the farms that we see out in these farmers' fields all over in the rural parts of the country. And that electricity is being fed right back into your local incumbent grid. And then you can just raise your hand and say, I want my share of it. And they'll look at your usage. They'll see how many kilowatts you use on average on a monthly basis, and they'll allocate that amount of electricity to you. Those credits will come on your bill and you'll get the discount. So we are not going to go over that completely, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. If you're new, it's not panels on your roof. It doesn't cost you anything. Renters can apply for it. Low to moderate income in most of our territories get increased discounts and savings with it. So let's just talk about community solar. The first thing I want you to talk about, Tony, is what is the difference between dual billing, utility consolidated billing, and what we have with Arcadia for Arcadia consolidated billing. And when we turn back to Maryland, where's Maryland headed? I mean, you'll see why I'm so excited about Maryland because of where they're headed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. So community solar, an exciting, evolving industry, and each state is in their own kind of timeline, as far as maturity of the market. And the more mature the market, like the longer community solar has been available in a state, the closer they are basically getting to going into what's called utility consolidated billing. So utility consolidated billing works like this. And there's basically three philosophies. First one, utility consolidated billing. That is by far the easiest way to sign up a customer. That means that when you sign up a community solar customer in states like New York, Illinois, and Virginia, those three states are utility consolidated billing markets. The customer simply signs up, the discount goes right onto their existing bill that they pay to their utility company. They still pay their utility company the same way they always have. Nothing changes. So complete flexibility with the customer, very easy to sign up. And it's why those states adopt community solar that much faster. Okay, and those states were actually dual billing markets prior to becoming utility consolidated billing markets, which is what most states is dual billing, which is the second way, kind of the second philosophy, if you want to call it that, for billing a customer. And so dual billing is simple, and it's basically you pay one bill to your utility company for a portion of what you owe for the total for the month, and then you pay another bill to the community solar provider, think Community Solar or Arcadia Community Solar or our partners, for the solar credits that you receive minus the discount that you're getting every month for up to 20 years. So that's how dual billing works. And I'm going to show a couple slides so we can really just get deep into it and just show you exactly what it looks like, because it's easy to explain it, but it's better to show it. So the third way is what's called, in just with one of our developers that we currently work with. Possibly there might be other developers that do it, but we have one of our developers out of, I don't know, I think we have 9 or 10 developers, community solar development partners that we work with. One of them is called Arcadia. And Arcadia has the ability for a customer to choose whether they want dual billing, where they pay 2 bills, one to the utility and one to Arcadia, or they can have Arcadia just bill them for the entire thing. They only pay Arcadia, and then Arcadia pays off their utility company's bill, but it also reflects the discount all in one shot. So the customers with Arcadia have the ability to choose which one they would like to be on, whether it's dual billing or whether it's Arcadia consolidated billing. Okay, so those are the three philosophies. And I think that the first one and the last one, utility consolidated billing, where you just pay your utility like you always did, we don't need to explain how that works. The last one, paying Arcadia, we don't really need to explain that one either, because it's just your choice. You want to pay that company one bill. So I think where the education challenge that we have with people is in the dual billing philosophy. And so I'm going to share my screen and see if I can get this onto the screen with dual billing. So let me see if I go back. Hang on one second and see if I can go back to dual billing. Yeah. So, well, first of all, there's the market for the state of Maryland. I figured I was looking for some kind of map that would actually show it really well. And this shows all of the different companies that are there, not just BGE and Delmarva and Potomac Edison and Pepco, which are the markets that we're operating in, but it shows all the other markets that we're not operating in. So actually you can take a look at the map and just say, oh, that's where we are, and get kind of a general idea. We're in the green, we're in this reddish color, we're in the purple, and we're in this kind of pink color, I guess, if you want to call it that, fuchsia color. So this Delmarva, this kind of weaves in and out in all different areas of this portion of the state, and the rest of them are pretty solid. So that's kind of what the market looks like as far as electricity and community solar. And we're open in all four of those that are on the top, the investor-owned systems that you see there. That's where we're open. So when you look at community solar dual billing, right, the dual billing experience is pretty straightforward when you think about it, okay? We're going to talk about before Think Community Solar and after Think Community Solar. So let's look at what it looks like, before Think Community Solar. So before Think Community Solar, you basically have no choice. You get a utility bill from BGE, let's say. You have usage on there. You have basic service charges that you have to pay. And then you have discounts on there that can come from community solar. But before you sign up for community solar, you're not going to get any discounts. So you're paying full price. So on a $200 electric bill, you pay $200. So that's pretty simple. So then after Think Community Solar, after you sign up for Think Community Solar, it's pretty straightforward there too. So there's your utility bill with the same usage, $180. There's the basic service charges, which you're going to pay. But then there's this thing that appears on your utility bill called solar credits from the solar farm. Now, those credits, they try to get it as close as they can. And I'm going to use an exact example here, where the solar farm has $180 worth of credits given to you because you used $180 worth of energy, of electricity that month. So they're trying to match the credits as close as they can. Now, those credits are going to go up and down based on the sun and the seasons. You'll get more credit dollars on your bill in the summer when there's more sun, and less in the winter when there's less sun. All right, so let's use an example where you receive the exact amount that you use, kind of like perfect scenario. Okay, you would pay $20, which is basically your basic service charges. So you pay a $20 electric bill to your utility company where you would have normally paid $200. Then Think Community Solar is going to bill you for the amount of the solar credits that they gave to you that month, minus the 10% discount on that 180, which is $18, which means you pay Think Community Solar or whoever the billing. We have other partners who bill our customers as well, but Think does as in some markets. Think Energy is the billing company. But you're going to pay the community solar company $162 in this scenario on a $200 electric bill. So when you add those two together, the total cost $20 that you pay to your utility company and $162 to the community solar company, you're now paying $182 on a normal $200 electric bill. And that's how it works. And that is guaranteed in writing for up to 20 years. The amount of credits, the solar credits that you receive up here, can go up and down based on the month, but the 10% discount that you receive on those credits never, ever changes. It's locked for up to 20 years.
Okay.
All right, so that's how it works, Kim. So I'll stop there in case we have a question there.
I do have a couple of questions. Can we be on electric savings discount and community solar at the same time?
Yes, indeed. You can be in both. They are exclusive discounts of one another. They're mutually exclusive, so they coexist. The community solar has nothing to do with the supply portion of the bill. It has nothing to do with a rate. It simply is a discount that you get from the state program for supporting the state's clean energy initiative with community solar.
Perfect.
And I'll say this, Kim, too, because it's important to know. If you've been paying an electric bill for any time in the last like 40 years in Maryland or any other state, you've been paying into the clean energy fund in that state somehow on the delivery side of the bill, whether it says it as a line item. In many states it does, but in many states it doesn't. They just group it all together. You've been paying into the clean energy fund since clean energy became a thought back in the 1970s or 1980s. And now they're using some of those funds that have been paid in by ratepayers for, into research and development over decade after decade after decade. Now they're utilizing some of it, and they found a way to give back a discount to the community, and you're entitled to it. But the only reason most people don't do it is because they don't know about it. So that's kind of how it
That's
is.
where we come in, right? That's
Yes,
perfect. Okay, so
exactly.
let's look at this after community solar bill right here.
Yep.
From my understanding, no matter what, your basic charges, even if you get a lot of extra solar credits, you're still going to pay the ancillary fees and basic charges, which is about $20.
In most markets, Kim, that is true. In some markets, that is not true. There are some markets where you can actually, if you receive more credits than your total bill, you would actually not even pay a bill that month. If you had more credits from the solar farm, you actually wouldn't pay a bill to the utility company in some states. It depends on the state and the developer and the utility, but in some states, you might not even pay a utility bill at all that month. You might have a zero, and then you just pay Think for the community solar credits.
So let's look at Maryland. In Maryland, would you have the fees would
Yes.
remain, the basic
Yep.
fees? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And we'll cover Pennsylvania and Ohio and all the other states just as in detail when they roll out. So don't worry if you're on this call from one of those states. So let's say your solar credits, it's the summertime, sun
Yep.
is blaring away, and instead of getting $180 in solar credits, you get $250. How does that
All right.
benefit you? What do you get to do with those extra solar credits? That it's like buying, I like the analogy of buying a Costco $100 gift card and for $90, $100 buying it for 90.
Yeah, it's a great way to look at it. And I'm glad you used the 250 example, because that's the exact example I'm going to use right here. So let's say it's the summer and the blaring sun is out and there's lots of extra solar credits coming from the solar farm that you've connected your electric bill to. So now the before is the same way. It's still, $180 normal electric bill that you're using $180 worth of energy and a $20 basic service charge. So you pay $200. But that month, here's your utility bill. Your usage is 180. Your basic service charges are 20. So after Think Community Solar, you receive $250 in solar production from the farm. Well, when you add 180 and 20, and then you take out $250, you're left with a $50 credit. So there's 50 extra dollars sitting there, a $50 credit. So now you may pay the $20 and then you'd have a $70 credit sitting there. Or if your utility company doesn't charge you for the basic service charges that month because they're offsetting it with solar credits, you would pay 50. So there's going to be a credit because you received more solar production credits than you used that month. So then what happens on the Think side, on the community solar bill side? Well, you received $250 worth of community solar credits that month. You're going to be charged for $250 minus the 10% discount, which now is $225. So this month you're going to pay $225 because the solar farm overproduced for you, but you're rolling over a credit that allows you to start the very next month $50 negative with a credit. And so that's where you are. You pay $225, but you're getting a $50 credit starting out the next month with a negative balance. And that's how this works. So I think most people would agree that, heck, I would do it all day long. Charge me $225 as long as I can get $50 toward my next bill. I'm in. I would do that all day long. That's like spending an extra 25 to get an extra 50. That's a no-brainer. Some people might say, I don't want to do that. I'm on a fixed budget. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. 10% savings isn't enough to make me want to do that, because it's just, I don't know if I can float myself an extra $25 for that month to get 50, right after that. So that's fine. We're not twisting anybody's arms or anything. We're just educating the public about it. But when you look at people who have, let's say, are low and moderate income customers, and the discount is 25%, that usually solves it right there for most people. Even if they're on a budget, they're like, man, 25%, that's $50. That's like a $50 discount every month on a $200 electric bill. That's pretty, I mean, it's almost like that's too good to pass up. I think that's going to offset this extra production in the summer and not make it an issue. So that's kind of how I look at it. But this is how it works, when you get more production, and this is everywhere except for Maine. Okay, it doesn't work like this in Maine. Maine, you pay for the solar credits that you receive only up to the amount of your usage that month. So just to give you a heads up, that's how it works in Maine. But all the other states, if there is extra production in a high month, like in the summer, and you receive more credits, then you're going to buy those credits. But again, it's going to roll over. You're banking them to the next month.
Perfect.
Sorry.
So I want to make sure everybody heard what Tony said there. The low to moderate income customers, Maryland, are getting 20 to 25% discount, not the 10% that he's got here on the screen. So that when you're talking to people who fall into the LMI category, you just want to explain how this works. Basically, you're probably going to see a bill in the summer. And if you take the 25% discount on this exact bill that you're showing, Tony, they're going to pay. They're just going to pay. It's going to look like they're paying what their bill is, because they're going to get the $50 or whatever it is off, a little bit more than that off of their bill. So it'll be pretty similar, but they'll be banking those credits, and they probably will have a couple months in the winter where they'll pay close to nothing. Would you think that probably would be the case when you're talking?
That is really true. It's a great way to look at it, because if you're getting 10% off on your bill from community solar, you're basically paying like 1 month and 1 week of energy, basically, for the year. You're basically getting a month and a week for free over the course of the year when all the dust settles. When you're at 25% discount, I mean, that's like getting 2.5 months of free energy, throughout the course of the year, basically, is what it comes out to. It's like your bill goes way down over the course of that year. It's a big deal.
Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the payment options. Some of the markets we have ACH, your checks, and some we have credit cards. Can we use debit cards too? I've had a lot of people asking for debit cards and the credit card markets. Now, obviously, probably not in the ACH markets. And then I do want you to talk about utility consolidated billing again, because that's coming at us like a freight train in Maryland.
Yeah. So this is I just took this right from, look, anytime you're looking to find out information about markets, just go to thinksuccess.plus. There's 2 aspects in there now that for community solar. There's one post that's permanently there that shows you what the current capacities are. So all you have to do is just go into thinksuccess.plus and either click on the community solar tab that's in the menu, or just search community solar, and you'll see it'll come up with 2 things. You'll have the market tracker that shows you each state that's open, what the benefits are in each of those states, and then you'll have the capacity update chart, which shows you what capacity we have, which is what we're looking at here, where it shows you whether we have a lot of capacity, moderate capacity, not much capacity, shows you which markets are open, whether they're open or LMI. Open means anybody can enroll. LMI means low and moderate income. So, and then it tells you the billing experience, whether it's dual, whether it's utility consolidated billing, and then wherever you see Arcadia, they have the ability to do Arcadia consolidated billing after they sign up. And then the discounts are there as well. I mean, this is it's got all kinds of great information here. It even shows you how many customer points you're getting, and it shows you the LMI qualifications, which are there. Every time you put in someone's zip code on your get.thinkenergy site to sign up a customer, it's going to pop up when they click on community solar. It's going to pop up and show after they put their zip code in, they can see these qualifications. So low and moderate income is not based on, it's not based on income. It's based on the programs that you qualify in because of your income. So the income verification, we don't do that. That's done between the individual and the state programs that they apply for. Once they're in any of these state programs, we don't care what their income is. So even though we say low and moderate income, it's actually more like state assistance. If you have one of these forms of state assistance, one or more, then you automatically can qualify for the program. So it's important to keep that, in your mind as you're going. So we will have utility consolidated billing coming up, in this market in Maryland. That's already been announced. The same thing's been announced in New Jersey. The same thing has been announced in the state of Oregon whenever we open there. That's going to be utility consolidated billing right out of the gate. It's looking like New Mexico will be that as well before we open there, or when we open. And California has already designated that they are going to be utility consolidated billing as well. And then every other state, eventually, they will go consolidated billing. So we're expecting this to happen in 2025 in Maryland. And when that happens, one of two things can happen. Now, we're expecting it to probably be sometime either in the first quarter or in the early second quarter. That's what it's looking like right now. As far as our best information, that's subject to change, as timelines always are in community solar. So let's say we're first quarter next year. That means we're, 7, 8, 9 months away, whatever, something like that, 7, 8, 9 months away. When that happens, there's a few things to consider. All of these discounts that you see here, like this 10% in BG&E and these 25% discounts, and the things that are basically above 5, some of these things could potentially, when utility consolidated billing comes in, if we look at like states like New York, where they started out at 20%, 15%, went to 10%, and then when it went to consolidated billing, because it was so much easier, for us to market for the community solar developers to sign up customers, and the utility company was doing the billing. They basically didn't have to give out as much of a discount to get people to sign up, is basically what it came out to. And the utility company should actually get a benefit for doing that. If they're handling all the billing themselves, they should be able to, get something out of it, I guess. But bottom line is, in most of the markets, when it goes to utility consolidated billing, what we've seen is that most of the time, the discount potentially could come down a little bit. But good news for you, you're grandfathered in. If you sign up before that happens, they can't change this. They can't lower it on you, because once you sign up, you get that discount for up to 20 years based on what the agreement that you basically electronically signed up for. So they have to honor it and grandfather you in. And even if it switches to utility consolidated billing after that, you're still going to be getting these high discounts. Even if the state program changes afterwards, they will have to grandfather you in. So that being said, when it does go to consolidated billing, it is going to be up to the developer of the solar farm, okay, to decide, do they want to participate in utility consolidated billing, or do they not want to participate and stay on dual billing? So it's not the kind of thing where everybody will automatically go on to consolidated billing. It could be that. That's pretty much what happened in the state of New York. They made it optional in the state of New York when they switched from dual billing, not switched, when they had only dual billing, and then the government, the utility regulators, made it another option for the developers to go and utilize consolidated billing, because they required the utility companies to be able to do it. And every single developer, except for just a few, just said, yes, we're just going to do that, because it accelerates the adoption of customers coming onto the platform. So I would think that we should expect in the state of Maryland, it should be very similar to what happened in New York, that the discounts could either stay right where they are, or they might be a little bit lower. And most, if not all, of the developers will switch over to consolidated billing for their customers. But again, there's not a guarantee that will happen. It's just, it is available because the legislature and the regulators forced the utility companies to be able to provide this UCB experience to customers in 2025 to accelerate the adoption of clean energy. So that's how it works.
That's perfect. So the bottom line is, try to sign as many people as you can up right now. They'll get the
Yeah.
greater savings for the next 20, 25 years, which is best for them in the long haul. We'll be moving to utility consolidated billing. It'll probably, like Tony said, follow the same suit as New York. Your customers can then be on utility consolidated billing once we get to that next year. Tony, bring that slide up one more time if you could.
Sure.
So
Yep,
a couple more
absolutely.
things I wanted to talk about there.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure you guys were aware. If you look, you see 3 BG&E up at the top here. This is our market where we have 2 IPPs, 2 providers that you can choose from. So let's take a look. Why would somebody go with IGS versus Arcadia?
Yeah, so that's a great example there. So, and here's the thing: in the state of Maryland, I think we have more, more community solar developers, which are commonly called IPP, independent power producers, IPPs, but they're basically community solar farm owners. Let's call them that, whatever, just to give you the common terms. But so we actually have 5 already in the state of Maryland. We're just highlighting 2 of them in this market because they happen to offer different programs within the same market of BG&E. So that's why we actually have them. There's a highlight there. You can actually see we have Nautilus, we have Sincarfa, we have other developers in the state of Maryland. You'll see them pop up in the different areas, but let's focus on BGE right now. So someone who is going to look for to sign up with Arcadia, they would have dual billing. And you can see this, you can actually see all the types of billing if you go into the market tracker on thinksuccess.plus. But with Arcadia open 5%, you're going to get 5% discount with Arcadia. This is attractive to some people, even though IGS has dual 10%. Some people say, well, I just want to get this 5% discount on dual billing because I don't want to use my checking account with ACH. So if someone doesn't want to use their checking account and have it debited out of their checking account, every month, then the BGE option with Arcadia is the way to go because they can put a credit card in and it'll go onto their credit card. It'll charge their credit card for their monthly community solar portion of their bill. And there's no fees associated with it. So there's no like 3% service charge. So they're getting the full 5%. Can they put in other forms of like a Visa, MasterCard type of thing that's not a credit card? Like, can they put in a gift card? No, you can't put a gift card in. Can you put in a prepaid debit card? No, you can't put a prepaid debit card in. They have systems that will flag that, knowing that it's not something that's a regular payment type, that it's something that can actually not have money in it. Can you put in a debit card? Actually, you can with most banks. There will be some times that they will actually flag it and say, nope, we don't work with that bank. But in most cases so far, you can put a debit card in or a credit card. So that's the option for people who want to do a credit card, that they don't want their bank being charged on auto pay monthly. They'd rather have the auto pay get charged to their credit card or maybe their debit card attached to their bank account. For IGS, it's the opposite, really. It's, well, I don't want anybody charging my debit card or my credit card. I don't have a credit card. I just have a bank account. That means you can go with the BGE IGS option, which gives you a 10% discount. So it's twice the discount. And all you have to do is attach your checking account information, your routing number and your account number, and they'll debit your checking account for the community solar portion of the bill. And I'll just say this too. You'll always know within like 10 days before the charge comes out, you'll get an email. So it's not like a big surprise, like, oh, we just charged here's your bill. You didn't even know what it was. And we just charged your bank account for it, or your debit card or your credit card. It's not like that. You would actually have a timeline, a time frame, and it's usually about 10 days where you'll have a notification that we're going to charge your credit card or your bank account 7 to 10 days from now. So make sure you have money in that account, or make sure you have enough credit on your credit card to process that. So it's not a surprise for anyone. So it is an auto pay, but it's not a surprise auto pay. There's a notice given, and you can change your payment philosophy, you know, if you wanted to change your credit card number because you needed to, or it expired, you can do that and have plenty of time to do it. If you wanted to change your bank account, you could do that as well, just by calling customer service and doing that.
Perfect. And then you can see if you have a low to moderate income customer, you would choose Arcadia, and there's your 25% discount that you get. So not to go over the whole enrollment process, but I just want people to understand it's pretty straightforward in Maryland. When you enroll a customer for community solar, it doesn't take a lot of time. You're just inputting all the data. For the low to moderate income part, if you've got a customer that qualifies for that, is it just as simple, Tony, as uploading one of those, whatever it is that they have, documents?
Yeah, that's all they have to do. I mean, it could be as simple as I got an email from the school that says that I'm on free, you know, if my child is on free and reduced lunch, just take a screenshot of that email and upload it, you know, as a PDF or as a picture, whatever. You can take a picture of it with your phone and upload it that way, whichever way you want to do it. But yeah, all you have to do is just you know, provide that information. And some of these things are right on the bill. Like if you have fuel assistance on your, you know, you have LI heap right on your electric bill, then when you upload a copy of your electric bill, because you have to do that in every market anyway, the discount is right there. So you would just, I mean, the program is right there on the bill. So you would just reference that as which program you qualify for. And by uploading your bill, that would qualify you for it.
All right. Now, how long is it taking approximately if someone signs up today or in the month of June? What are we seeing the turnaround time for solar that they'll actually be linked to a farm and then start seeing these credits and the dual billing happening?
Yeah, so that's going to ebb and flow as we go. It's kind of like first come, first serve. The faster you get in and sign up, the faster you'll be on a farm. Nobody's going to jump ahead of you in your local utility company, if you know where you're signing up for. So in your territory, nobody's going to jump ahead. In instances like right now, I mean, this developer IGS for BGE, to give you an example, this is the earliest. This is the fastest onboarding, I would say, right now in the state of Maryland, most likely. They have a big need to fill these farms. That's why we have these promotions in these markets. And IGS has a big need to get 1,000 customers onto their platform as fast as they can, because as soon as they fill up, they're able to open and get the customers on right away, because the farm is already built. It's like already done and just ready for the last group of customers to come onto the farm so that they can put them on right away. So those will most likely be the fastest. And then, you know, it just ebbs and flows. You can't really give someone an exact timeline in the markets. I just like to say, look, the longest it's taken for us to put a customer on community solar anywhere has been about 12 to 13 months. So that's the longest anywhere ever since we opened. We've had customers go on as early as a month. You know, so we have had that happen where, you know, somebody moved out of a territory and it opened up a slot on a community solar farm, and we happened to sign someone up, and right when they signed up, that slot became available. So that's a possibility. So we've had it happen in 1 month, we've had it happen in 12 or 13 months, but generally we've been in that 4 to 8 month window. If I just look at it from experience, it's kind of been in that range. And the fact that if you listened, you know, if you listen to Mike Falquist talk about what types of, you know, well, you'll hear him probably say this coming up, but in any case, there is a lot more capacity. Like I just talked to Mike, we just talked to him on Friday about this specifically as well. And there is so much capacity in Maryland that these things are going to stay green for a very, very, very long time. There's just a lot of farms being built. It's one of the most robust, wide open, super highways for community solar. It's like a runway with 100 planes lined up to take off, like 100 solar farms lining up to go live. And each one of those solar farms can bring in 500, 1,000 customers, and there's 100 of them that are nearing completion or getting ready to be approved to have customers, you know, assigned to them. And that's what we have going on in the state of Maryland. So I think we're going to see things rapidly evolve in as far as timelines in the state of Maryland compared to other states like Colorado, which will be much slower because they're not as mature a market as Maryland is. And other states too, like Rhode Island, not as mature as Maryland is. So that's what we're seeing is we're going to see this timeline speed up because there's going to be a lot of capacity, coming out in the state of Maryland. So we've got an open runway for years and years and years to bring customers in. I mean, that's
so I want you guys to look at this one slide one more time, because then Tony's going to take it down, and I have Ernest, I want to speak here for a minute. You're looking at a 25% discount for your low to moderate income, or 25% in Pepco as well, 20% in Delmarva. This most likely will go down a little bit when we go to utility consolidated billing. Let's just say we're fortunate enough to sign a whole bunch of customers up in June. They probably, somebody's got their thing unmuted. You guys keep it.
I got it.
Got it? Thanks.
Yep.
So
you might have to unmute yourself again, Kim.
I did. There we go. So let's just say we get lucky, maybe even 3 months instead of 4 months, but maybe it takes 4 months to be on a farm. So we're June. So you're talking July, August, September, October. So in October, this is where your friction would come in with dual billing. If anybody had any, that would be your friction point with community solar, because some people, they just can't wrap their head around paying a small bill to the utility and then paying the rest to the community solar. But we're looking at October. That's the end of the year, basically. You've got October, November, December. Then you're into 2025. You're into when Maryland, I don't know if it's going to be January, February, March, but they're talking earlier in the year, first quarter, moving to utility consolidated billing. So you're only going to be really faced with the dual billing programs here for a couple of months, probably. Would that be fair to say?
It is. It's definitely fair to say we're right at that point. As we go further and further, then it's going to become less and less of an issue, and people are just going to sign up and say, "I'll just sign up because it'll eventually be before I even get on the farm. It'll probably be consolidated billing."
That's right.
I like how you said that. It's less and less of an issue. You didn't put a time frame on it, but it becomes less and less of an issue because of the time frames and the fact that you're going to be onto a farm, maybe even by the time it isn't a non-issue.
Right. Perfect. Yep. All right, Tony, let's bring up Ernest here. I've got through most of the questions. I just wanted to make sure you guys had a good working knowledge of how it works in the state of Maryland. And I know that Ernest has been bringing on community solar customers a lot. So Ernest, share with the group kind of just a little bit about what you're doing and how you're getting over any of the friction points in regards to the dual billing and what you're saying. If, there's going to be people who are going to say, not yet. And that's perfectly fine, because you can just circle back to them in a couple months. If you put them on in October, they'll probably end up being just on utility consolidated billing all along.
All right, thank you. I was making sure I could unmute myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Great. So when it comes to can you repeat the question, because I was trying to unmute myself as you were preparing me, so I want to make sure I'm answering what you had asked.
Yeah, I was just talking about that you've enrolled a lot of community solar customers, so you obviously have your verbiage done. You know what to say, and you get some of the friction points with the dual billing. But we just talked about the fact that it's going to be just a couple months, and then they're going to be on consolidated billing anyway.
And they might lose some of that discount if they don't. So there's a sense of urgency built into that conversation. So
just share with everybody for a couple of minutes some of the things that you're doing, so that maybe everybody can do the same thing in Maryland.
Yeah, so I'll share what I've done. As Tony was talking about some of the needs that these IPPs have and why they're coming to Think Energy, is that they want these farms filled as soon as possible, and they're taking advantage of our network because we already have existing relationships, and through our relationships we're able to fill these farms faster. And I want to make a point of that, because a lot of times we're looking at this opportunity from a business perspective, and we're thinking about the sales pitch, and we need to have a great product, but when it comes to gathering customers, the first thing you want to think about is how you can leverage your existing relationships. There's people that are going to become your customer really not because of the benefit of the service, and it's kind of backwards thinking. They're going to become your customer because they have a relationship with you. part of when I was going out and signing up a lot of customers, a lot of people signed up because I shared with them why I wanted them to do it. The benefit was secondary. I want to make sure you guys, because I know there's people that are evaluating this opportunity. There are people going to sign up because of your relationship with them, not necessarily because of the benefit. So there's basically, that was the first way there was a promotion that the company ran when we first launched Merlin, and it was based on signing up a number of customers within a finite period of time, and you would qualify for an incentive trip to Puerto Rico, which just happens to fall the same day as my wedding anniversary. So I shared a story with, hey, I need you to support me to help my wife and I qualify to, celebrate our anniversary in Puerto Rico. And that's just my story. But the point is, as you are outreaching to people, I tell my team to go and gather people's electric bills. And one of the things I just tell people is that you share with them why you want their bill. You share with them a story. You share with them your why, not necessarily to benefit them, but to help you. I had a training with my team a couple of days ago, and the approach that I was recommending them to use is, hey, I in a process of completing my training to be a certified energy advisor, and to complete my training, I just need a copy of 5 to 10 electric bills. Can you do me a favor and send me a copy of your bill so that I can complete my process, so I can understand how to analyze bills and understand how our services work? So the first way you enroll customers, or that I did, is I shared with them my why or story. Now, the second way that you can enroll customers, and we have lots of training on this, is you do talk about the benefits. And again, with the premise that I teach my team is to gather people's bills. And so I would ask the question, hey, are you familiar with the state-sponsored clean energy program where you can get a guaranteed discount on your electric bill for up to 25 years? Oh, no, I'm not familiar with it. Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and send me a copy of your electric bill? That way I'll be able to determine whether you qualify. And so I have a lot of people that sent me their bill, even people that I hadn't talked to in a number of years. They sent me the bill because they were curious or something that I said of the benefit, and they sent me their bill. So I know we've been on it for a while, but I just wanted to share, I lead first with the relationship. Use your relationship, leverage that. You'll have a lot of people that are going to support you just because of who you are to them. And then secondarily, as we're being educated with all the ins and outs of how it works, think about a quick benefit that would pique their interest, and then just ask for a copy of their bill. And then all the stuff that we went through, you don't have to be all this detail. You can use and leverage your business partners to kind of help explain your network. If you don't know all these different details, the point is take action, leverage your existing network, and then beyond that, learn a few bullet points that can pique people's interest, ask for a copy of their bill, and at that point, you're empowered to then recommend something that would, save them money on their electric bill. So is that along the lines of what you wanted me to share, Kim?
Yep, that's absolutely perfect. And if you guys are newer on this, to the business, when you get a copy of someone's electric bill, just reach out to one of us. We'll show you what you're looking for. A lot of times you're going to find that they're with another third-party supplier for electric, and they're paying a really high rate per kilowatt hour. And then it's just a shoo-in, because you can come back and say, wow, I didn't realize, you might not know you're with XYZ company. If you would have been with Think, you would have saved this much money. And over the course of the year, you're going to end up paying this much more if you stay where you are. So there's a lot of things you can do once you actually get your hands on the electric bill. Tony, I know we're at 10 o'clock now, so it's been a good long call, and we've got a lot of information in. Would it be okay if we took like just 1 or 2 questions, if there's anybody that's got something that we didn't answer?
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say that is some really good stuff, Ernest. I mean, just everybody, I hope you were writing that down. I'm glad we recorded this. So that was really good. We're going to take that little excerpt that you just did, Ernest. It's going to, boom, that's going to reside on its own right in the YouTube channel, with your permission, of course. All right.
He's so amazing. I learned just from listening to Ernest. He's just got the fluidity. He's doing a great job helping us all learn how to ask for an electric bill, whether it's a favor, or it's a benefit to them.
That is great stuff.
Building the
Absolutely.
relationship. So does anybody, I guess, raise your hand if you have a question that we didn't answer? If there's something that you're dying to know, and I don't see any hands up here.
Let's see, we have Lisa said, if a customer has the free energy and sign up for solar, what happens? Okay, so Lisa, great question. So if you have free energy and you sign up for solar, then you're basically double dipping and getting both discounts. So you're going to get a free energy rebate, okay? And based on your whatever your free energy club is, if you have let's just say you have 20 referrals and you're getting 100% rebate, and you're using $180 worth of, or you're using $100 worth of supply of usage that month, and then you get a $100 rebate because you referred 20 customers. You will also get a discount on the remaining portion of your bill from the community solar, but it will be applied based on the entire bill. So you're still going to get, say, $20 off on $18 off on a $200 electric bill, plus $100 worth of free energy. You're going to get the 100 and the 18.
That's pretty
Okay.
cool. That's pretty amazing. Okay, I saw Eric's hand was up, Eric Bayu, but then he might have taken it down. Can you
All right,
unmute
let's see
Eric?
if we can, I think he took it down. Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions, Tony, in the chat? I don't see any.
No, you're welcome, Lisa. That was great. Bob, good evening to you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, appreciate it. Mary's chiming in. Okay, great. That's good. I think there's one person, Trent has
Trent
one.
just
Yep.
raised his hand, and I spoke with
Yeah,
Trent
Trent's a
today.
brand new
so-
guy, and he's on the call, so that's great. I
Yeah.
hope you learned a lot.
Go ahead, Trent.
It's a lot of information. Hello, everyone. I'm to be here. It sounds exciting. Great opportunity. But when you're putting the terms out there saying solar community, and then you say electric, and I asked a question earlier today, so now I think I'm confused. Oh, what is the difference between electric and solar community if you're getting your electricity, and one's electricity from solar community? It's throwing me off.
Yeah,
I don't.
like what are they? How are there two different services and they both apply to the electric bill? Because they both do apply to the electric bill. They're just basically, Trent, they're just basically, the community solar program is a discount on your bill. Okay, that's how I like to think of it in simple terms. It's a discount on your bill. Okay, the electricity offering that we have is the customer, you or whoever it is, choosing a rate on their supply portion of their bill. Now, that can also be a discount if they choose a rate that's lower than the utility company, which we have rates that are lower than the utility company on the supply portion of the bill. So electricity is for the supply portion of the bill where you choose a lower rate.
Yes.
Community solar is where you get a discount across the entire bill, and it has nothing to do with the supply portion of your bill.
So are we talking to customers to select both of those?
Absolutely. Yep. If they qualify for both, yeah, definitely.
And that's where you can make a lot of money, Trent, when you help somebody save money on both their electric. Right now, you make $40 signing up for a savings on their electric and $180 on the community solar. And your bill,
220.
yeah, and or yeah, 120 if you're in Maine, and you're
Yeah,
building
so-
the residual aspect with the electric.
So then my next question comes to, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog. Why would they not sign up for solar community or community solar?
That's a
Or
good question.
not
That's a great
qualify?
question. That's
Or
a
were they
good-
not qualified for some reason? So
No.
that's what was throwing me. I didn't get it.
I think if
That's a
somebody's
great
way
question.
behind on their bill, they might be a little tentative about sharing that information with you. That would be a stumbling block psychologically and I think I don't think you'll ever get that kind of feedback from a customer or a friend, because sometimes that's pretty personal. And I
So
think
you're saying if they're behind, they would qualify.
Pardon?
You're saying if they're behind, they would not qualify.
I think they just wouldn't want to tell you.
No,
I think-
you're missing my question.
I
Why
think in some states they do qualify, even if they're behind. I think in some states they want you to get caught up. I think it depends on the market, right, Tony?
Yeah. There's some, like if you're behind to the point where, you're getting your electricity shut off, then, the community solar provider is not going to want to have that customer, on the platform because they're, if they have a history of, getting their electricity shut off every 3 months, that's not good for the solar farm developer because every 3 months they would fall off of the solar farm and then have to re-enroll. So instead
Yeah.
of having the customer go through that, they just say, you're not really probably a good customer for this. And so they would maybe not qualify. But for most people, if they're paying their electric bill and they have payment arrangements and things like that, they can still work it out and become a customer with community solar. So I think you should really just focus on educating the public, Trent, because the number one reason people don't do this is because they've never heard of it before. Nobody's ever told them about it. So there's, 90% of, if you go ask 100 people in Maryland, what is community solar? Like 2 people will tell you what it is. Like nobody knows what it is. And so that's our big, challenge, our obstacle, right? Our hurdle, we don't have a competitor except for education. That's all this is. And so the reason people don't sign up is because they either don't know about it or they don't believe that it's true. It's too good to be true. Until we show them that it's not too good to be true, it's actually real. And then they'll sign up. And that's what we have. The reason why people don't sign up is they don't know about it or they think it's too good to be true.
Okay.
I liked what Ed Kenny asked the other night at the meeting in Maryland. He said, are you familiar with who pays for these programs? And the answer was almost universally, well, no. And his reply was, you do if you don't take advantage of it. And, it's kind of like that last mile thing for telecom years and years ago. Everybody chipped in to get the wires out. We're all chipping in. Why not get some of it back?
Yeah, perfect. Good questions though, Trent. And I know you'll have a lot more because you're just getting rolling and we'll be here. If we can't get them answered, we're coming to you, Tony.
Yeah, there you go. There's a couple of, Lori had a question that said, I had a potential customer ask me today, what happens during a blackout? Nothing happens any differently whether you're connected to community solar or whether you have a retail supplier for electricity, Think Energy, or both. If there's a blackout, you simply call your utility company just like you always did. So nothing changes.
Right.
You're actually not getting your own specific energy at your house from being connected to the community solar program. You're simply helping the local utility company to get solar energy into the grid because of a choice that you made. But it's not like you're getting solar energy and your neighbor isn't. It's not like that. So yeah, you just call the utility company, nothing changes. Coach Mary, also a lot of times they hear the word solar and assume it's rooftop. Yes, that's why we always say community solar at the beginning. Like, we have to get away from just saying solar. So you always say community solar. And yeah, I always say, whenever I talk to someone about community solar, I say, hey, have you heard of the new community solar program in your state, in the state here? And they go, no, or I haven't heard of it, or it sounds like, yeah, I've heard of solar before. Well, this is not rooftop solar. This is those solar farms that you see being built all over out in fields, and you get to remotely connect your bill to those farms and get a discount for up to 20 years.
Yeah, and
So
Tony, what we do
always say
too, we tell them look for one near your area. Like we were here in Virginia and we went up a road that everybody drives on. It's called 53. And we saw a brand new, huge community solar farm.
Built.
And so we were just talking to someone and
did you see that farm?
Just drive up 53 and you'll see that farm. That's how you can help them understand what it is. They can actually see them now.
I like to just tell them that we're an accounting function for that farm. It gets fed in just like it always does. We never know where that power is coming from. So we're just the accountants on linking that farm.
Yep. And what happens after 20 years? Trent, what happens after 20 years is at the end of 20 years, there's an agreement between a landowner in the state, like in Maryland, there's a landowner that owns the land. That's the law. And the community solar developer has to lease the land from the landowner to put the solar panels on the land that the landowner owns. So at the end of 20 years, If they both agree that it's a good process, then the solar farm stays and they just redo it for another 20 years. But if the landowner says, well, I don't want to have solar panels on my farm anymore, I want to plant corn, great, the solar panels will come out. And so that's how it works. And so if that happens, then what'll happen is we have community solar subscribers, let's say 500 of them, that are no longer going to be on a farm because the farmer wants to take his land back. Great. We'll just put them on another farm. They're already a customer. We can just shift them to a new farm for up to 20 years. That's how it
Tony, in
works.
closing, what's the statistics of how many people are on a farm now? How many the Department of Energy projects they're going to be on a farm over the next year, the next 5 years?
Yeah, so this has accelerated a lot. So 5 years ago, there were 50,000. Now, if you talk to us like 4 or 5 months ago, there were about 500,000. Now, in the last 4 or 5 months, it's almost 700,000 now. Okay, so this is accelerating rapidly. Think about that. It went from 50,000 to 500,000 in 5 years. And now in just a few months, it's 200,000 more and accelerating. So you guys, this is the time. We've got an open runway where this thing is just going to be going crazy for the next decade, probably 15 to 20 years. We'll open up our last market and build the last farm, like probably 20 years from now, maybe even more than that. So it's just wide open. It's right at the beginning. So there's going to be 1 million, there's going to be 4.5 million customers estimated to come on to community solar in the next 19 months. In the next 19 months.
Million?
Yes, that's exactly. That's it, because it's accelerating. So if you say, well, 200,000 customers came on in the last 3 months, that's 70,000 a month. Well, it's going to be 200,000 a month and 400,000 a month a year from now. That's what's going on, you guys.
All right, so you guys just need to figure how big of a piece of pie you want.
Sounds like a Tesla in every yard.
Yeah, there's going to be room for everybody. And guys, more and more states are moving this way. I bet all 50 states will eventually be community solar states. So great being with you guys tonight. I don't think there's any other questions. Do you see anything else, Tony?
I think we're good.
All right, guys, I'm going to let everybody go because it is after 10 o'clock.
Thank you very much for being on.
Thanks everybody
Tony.
for being on. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you, Tony. We appreciate you more than you know. Have a good night,
All right,
everybody.
have a great night.
Say bye. Bye.
I'll allow everybody to unmute if they want to.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Great call, Kim and Jim, Tony. As always, great leadership. Love you.
Thank you.
guys.
All right, take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody.
Thank you. Great information.
Have a great night. We'll see everybody.